Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today I'm making some jam out of the guavas that I've picked. I've got an entire freezer full. I won't be using all the guavas to make jam today, just enough to fill some jars. So I've got one large jar and two small ones as a gift for two people. So it's going to make a perfect gift, I think, because it's so delicious. Step one is to pull these little crusty bits off the top and wash each of the bits of fruit. So I've got these bags out of the freezer, so washing them will hopefully defrost them a little bit. The recipe calls for 500 grams of guava with 800 grams of sugar and 2 cups of water. So I'll be playing around with the quantities of sugar, so probably like 500 grams of guava, let's say, and like 200 grams of sugar, because I don't want it too overpowering with the sugar. I want the flavour of the fruit to show through the most. And the 2 cups of water I don't put in at all, because the water that I use to wash them is more than enough to give some liquid to the mix, so it's not like all gluggy and stuff. I've got some lemons over here to add to the jam. Once again, I don't want to put too much lemon in it, just like only a few drops, but that'll create, I'm not sure how the chemistry works, but it creates pectin, which helps the jam bind together and give it a thicker texture rather than just a runny mess. So I'll let this boil away and I'll clean and toppy bit these fruit. So stay tuned and I'll post a time lapse or something. So I've taken all the little end bits off each of the guava, and the jars are nearly finished boiling. I'm going to wash it one more time just to be sure, because they're still a little bit frozen. And then I'm going to count and weigh all of the guava in this batch and take a note of it, so I know how many I've picked total, because this is all off one tree. So I can see exactly how much weight that tree was bearing when it was in full fruit, and I can keep track of how much jam I've made. Some of the guava are a little bit squishy, like this one. I'm gonna eat it. Last season I didn't have an exclusion netting over it for the fruit flies. A lot of the fruit got infected, and I still used it for jam because I was eating it and I was like, I don't care. But because I'm making this to give away, I need to make sure that it's all healthy and safe. So the exclusion netting has kept all the fruit fly off, and not a single guava this year has been infected by fruit fly. Some are squishy, but that's only because they're overripe. But they are absolutely perfect. So I just weighed and counted the guava. In these two bowls I have 102 guava, and they weigh 990 grams total, including the water that's probably adding like 1/10 of a gram per guava. So pretty good yield, considering I've guesstimated about 400 to 500 guava off one tree. So it looks like I'll be getting quite a few litres of jam this year. I've got nearly a fridge full of them, and this barely did a dent into the total number that I have. Don't burn yourself. Ooh. There. I'm just guessing, but this is probably enough. I don't think I need more than that. A cup of sugar comes out to 250 grams, and I'll mix it in and see what it looks like, but I think that's going to be enough. Taste test before I start cooking. Oh my god, that's actually so good. Perfect amount of sugar, about a quarter. Well, that'll be a fifth now. So 4 parts jam or guava and 1 part sugar. That's cool, yep. We'll give it a stir. That's, oh my god, that's actually surprisingly delicious. Give it a stir. I want it to be a little bit chunky, like, so you get some nice little, like, chunky bits when you have your taste, but then you got the liquid of the juice. So I won't film this part because I'll be flat out cooking, but you have to cook it, bring it to a boil, and then cook it for 10 minutes exactly, and then stop it straight away. Last time I made the mistake of cooking it until I thought it was starting to coagulate, and that was like half an hour. And by that time, once, like, after I'd finished cooking it for half an hour and it had coagulated, I stopped cooking and it solidified to basically a brick. So I tried a second batch for 10 minutes and then stopped cooking, and it was still a liquid, but by the time it cooled down, it was like a perfect jam consistency. So that's what I'm going to do here. You won't see it because it's like, you have to keep stirring like flat out the whole time because it's got to be boiling but stirred so it doesn't stick on the bottom. So I'll get back to you once I've finished it. So each of these bags, based on the measurement I just took, weighs about 100 grams. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30-ish bags. So I should have about 4 kilos, which is about what I expected, which is about 400, oh yeah, because it was 990 grams for 102 of them. So that's a big yield for a tree that's literally only like up to my waist. Like, it's not a big tree. It's only 2 years old in the ground, so give it another 3 years when it's about 50% tall, which is its full height, and I've got 3 other trees. I'm going to get quite a lot of guavas. It might look a little bit chunky, and these bits, you might be thinking, oh, but I don't want a chunk that big on my toast. By the time I've cooked it, like, they're pretty soft at the moment, and by the time I've cooked it, it will soften it up a lot more. So it shouldn't be too much of a worry. All finished. As you can see, it's thickened up quite a bit. Like, these chunky bits as well, they're sort of like really soft at the moment. A few bits kept splashing over the edge of the bowl or the pot and like onto the stovetop, so I'd like taste it as I'm cooking it, and it was so good. It's going to be delicious. So time to pot it and put it in the fridge before it cooks for too long. These two jam jars I got from Coffs Harbour from a farmer's market. This one had Brazilian cherry and the other one had mulberry jam in it. The big one was $15 and the little one was $10, selling at a farmer's markets. I've made 1 litre of jam today. And that's how much is left. So right here you got 25 bucks. Plus whatever's left in the pot. So you're looking at like $40 worth of jam at a farmer's markets for less than like half an hour's work. That's a pretty good deal. So I didn't end up having enough to fill this. I just did some smaller ones about the size of like your normal jam jar, about that big. I didn't want this jam to be too sweet. That's why I did like a 4:1 ratio of sugar, because as well as having it as jam, you can just have it by the spoonful. It's really quite delicious. It's got a marmalade texture and taste to it. So like the lemon rind or like orange rind of marmalade, and a very lemony flavour. So not because of the lemons that I put in it, but because it's called a lemon cherry guava. So I hope these gifts are well received by the people that I'm giving them to. One's a vegan and I'm pretty sure the other is a vegetarian, so perfect gift. Hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one, and thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment what you thought of it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. This is the fun part. Washing up. Yay, not.